This is the story of a glue that failed. Not a small failure, a complete one. A glue that couldn't do the one and only thing a glue is supposed to do. It barely stuck. You could peel it off with your fingertips. Its own inventor's coworkers nicknamed it hopeless. By every logical measure, it was a mistake. A dead end. The kind of thing you write up, shrug at, and quietly bury in a drawer forever. Except you know this glue. You've touched it today, probably. It's on the little squares stuck to your monitor, your fridge, the corner of your textbook, your coworker's passive-aggressive note on the office microwave. The worst glue ever invented became one of the best-selling office products on the planet. Billions of them, every year, in over 100 countries. So how does a total failure end up on every desk on Earth? Let me tell you. And fair warning, this one's a comedy of errors before it's a triumph. We start in 1968, at a company called 3M, and with a chemist named Spencer Silver. Now, Silver has a very specific mission. 3M wants him to build a stronger adhesive, bigger, tougher, more powerful, the kind of superglue you could use in serious industrial work, even aerospace. That's the goal. Strong. Everything about the assignment is the word strong. So Silver is in the lab, mixing and testing. And he does what curious scientists do. He tweaks the recipe. He adds more of a certain ingredient than the instructions call for, just to see. And he creates the exact opposite of what he was asked to make. Instead of a super strong glue, he gets this strange substance made of tiny acrylic spheres. And it has the weirdest property. It sticks, but only just. It holds two things together lightly, and then lets you peel them apart again. No tearing, no mess, no residue left behind. And you can stick it again, and again, and again. Think about how underwhelming that must have felt. You're asked to build the strongest glue in the world, and instead, you invent a glue whose main talent is letting go. Objective: create the strongest adhesive possible. Result: created the weakest adhesive imaginable, on purpose, by accident. But here's the thing about Spencer Silver, and honestly, it's the part I respect most in this whole story. He refused to believe it was junk. Everyone around him saw a weak, pointless glue. Silver looked at the same substance and saw something genuinely new. A glue you could reuse, that never made a mess, that could stick and unstick forever. He was convinced it was special. He just had absolutely no idea what it was for. And that right there is the real problem. He'd invented an answer, he just couldn't find the question. So Silver does something a little heroic and a little sad. For the next 5 years, he becomes a man on a mission to sell a solution nobody thinks they need. He gives internal talks at 3M, he pitches team after team. He hands out samples like a guy at a party telling a joke that isn't landing. And over, he gets the same reaction. Huh, that's neat. What's it for? And he doesn't have a good answer, because there isn't one yet. 5 years. Imagine believing in something that hard for that long, while everyone politely tells you it's useless. Most people would have given up. Silver didn't. He kept the glue alive, barely, on nothing but stubborn faith. And then the universe does what it does best in these stories. It solves the problem from the most random direction possible. Enter our second hero, a different 3M scientist named Art Fry. And the setting for the breakthrough isn't a laboratory. It's a church. Fry sang in his church choir, and he had a small, deeply annoying problem. To mark the hymns for each service, he used little scraps of paper as bookmarks in his hymnal. And every time he stood up to sing and opened the bookmarks slipped out and fluttered to the floor. Every single time. Picture it. The music starts, the whole choir opens their books, and Art Fry is down on the floor fishing for his lost place while everyone else is singing. If you've ever lost your spot at the worst possible moment, you know that exact little flash of frustration. And then, mid-service, it hits him. He'd been to one of Spencer Silver's seminars a couple of years earlier. That weird glue. The one that sticks but peels off clean. What if he put it on his bookmark? A bookmark that sticks to the page but never tears it. That stays put but lifts right off when you're done. That was the moment. After 5 years of being a solution without a problem, the glue had finally found its problem. And it wasn't holding an airplane together. It was holding Art Fry's place in a hymn book. But here's the twist most people miss. Even now, even with the perfect idea, the world still didn't want it. Because the genius of the thing wasn't really the bookmark. Fry quickly realized the sticky note could carry a message. You could write on it, stick it on a document, and it became a note that traveled with the page and peeled away clean. A whole new way to communicate. 3M ran an early test launch in stores, and it flopped. Customers stared at the little pads and had no idea what they were looking at. Why would you buy sticky paper? The problem was you couldn't explain a Post-it. You had to hold one. You had to peel it, stick it, move it, and feel that little click of, oh, I get it. So in 1979, 3M tried something different. They picked one city, Boise, Idaho, and they just flooded it with free samples. They put the actual product in people's hands and let it explain itself. And the moment people touched them, they were hooked. The reorder rate came back around 90%. People weren't just buying them, they were hoarding them, stealing them off each other's desks. In 1980, 12 full years after Spencer Silver made his hopeless glue, Post-it notes launched across America. Within a single year, they were one of the top 5 best-selling office products in the entire country. Oh, and that famous canary yellow color? Not a branding decision, not a focus group. The lab next door just happened to have scrap paper in that shade lying around, so that's what they used. The most recognizable sticky note color in the world is an accident sitting on top of an accident. And I love that this story has not one hero, but 2. Spencer Silver, who invented a brilliant answer and refused to throw it away, and Art Fry, who spent years carrying the question around without knowing it, until a bookmark hit the floor one too many times. Neither of them could have done it alone. The failure needed a purpose. The purpose needed the failure. So the next time you peel off a little yellow square and stick it somewhere to remind yourself of something, look at it for a second. That is a glue that failed at its only job. Rescued by a man singing in a choir. Ignored for over a decade. Nearly buried more than once. And it only exists because 2 people refused to accept that a mistake was worthless. The world wasn't built perfectly. Some of its greatest inventions were simply accidentally created.